cooking in crazy times, and so you never know what you're going to be able to find at the store. And when we went shopping to make these videos to teach Jewish cooking, strangely, at the Mexican market I went to, I found wonton skins, which made me think of kreplach, which is a dumpling type food that you fill with meat or vegetables and you eat in soup, which is Jewish, and it's very much like a wonton. It's a Jewish wonton. Yeah. So I thought, let's make kreplach, but make it Asian-y. Yes. And since many of the teenagers in my cooking class are currently obsessed with Rick and Morty, we decided we should probably make it the Szechuan kreplach. And magically, we were able to find Szechuan peppers to make the famous Szechuan sauce they talk about at length in that cartoon at World Market the day before they announced they are closing their doors and not selling people things anymore. So, yay! We're gonna make Szechuan kreplach. Yum! And here's how to do it. Yes. So, we're gonna start with the sauce. To make the Szechuan sauce, we're going to do water, soy sauce, ginger paste, which we don't have, and I'm not going to hold my breath trying to find it, so we're going to show you how to make that in a minute. We're doing minced garlic, sesame oil, salt, cornstarch, sugar, our fancy pants Szechuan peppercorns, black pepper, coriander, rice vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and lime juice. Okay, our recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of ginger paste, which we were unable to find, but we found fresh ginger, so I'm just going to show you how to replace that with 2 tablespoons of grated fresh ginger. So we found ginger root. What you want to do is cut off the skin off the outside. So you just have a piece of ginger with no skin on it. And let me get as much off as I can without using up too much of the ginger. I have a grater, and so I'm just going to grate the ginger until I have 2 tablespoons. So we're going to put in 1 cup of water. And then a half a cup of soy sauce. Got it. And 1/4 teaspoon sesame oil. Alright. We did not pre-measure this one because it's such a tiny amount. Okay. The 2 tablespoons of ginger. Alright. Got it. Next. 1 tablespoon of garlic. Oh, okay. Got it. And then it is 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Okay, salt. So that is such a tiny measurement. Most spoon sets don't even have 1/8. So it's a pinch. Same thing. And then it says you're going to heat that in a saucepan until it begins to bubble, and then reduce the heat and simmer for 12 minutes. Okay, so let's stir it all up and do what she just said. Simmer for 12 minutes. Yep. As soon as it bubbles. Then you turn it down.
So that's boiling.
Oh, okay. So this is for the filling for the kreplach, and we're going to make a beef kreplach and a chicken kreplach, and both recipes need minced onion. So I'm just going to cut the onion You can mince the onion with a knife if you want, but I have a food processor, so I'm just gonna put it in chunks, put the chunks into the food processor.
And this is what happens when your lid doesn't fit.
So I'm just going to add some to the end of the last pieces of onion, and I'm going to mince that together for the chicken kreplach filling. The ground beef kreplach has chopped mushrooms in it, so I'm just going to take some mushrooms and chop them up. It looks like a lot of mushrooms, but they cook down.
Okay, so the timer just went off, 12 minutes is over, so I'm going to turn the heat off, put the lid on, and you just let it set for another 12 minutes. Super complicated.
I'm going to use 2 patties of Purim Carnival hamburgers. Just trying to get that last little. There was a lot of fat in those hamburger patties, so I'm going to drain off most of the fat and leave a little bit in the pan to fry the mushroom and the onions in. And we used a wire strainer to drain off the fat off of the hamburger, because we don't need that much fat to fry the onions in. I'm just going to brown these on low till they turn a little bit brown, and then I'll add the mushrooms and saute those with it.
Okay, so we are going to mix the 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with half a cup of water. And add it to our sauce over here, along with 7 tablespoons of sugar. This is not a health food at all. Our fancy Szechuan peppers, regular pepper, and coriander. Okay, so then we're going to turn this back on until it starts bubbling. So again with the medium heat. And we wait.
So after I let the onion soften, I'm going to go ahead and add the mushrooms in with the onions. The onions just take a little longer, so I wanted to give them a head start.
Okay. So it's starting to bubble, so we're supposed to reduce the heat again and let it simmer for 3 minutes. So I have my timer set on my phone, and we're going to wait 3 minutes now.
And I'm just going to go ahead and put our meat back in with the mushrooms and the onions for our meat kreplach mixture. I'm just going to let that simmer down. Simmer down now. For the chicken kreplachs, we just need to saute the carrots and the onions. So I put a tablespoon of canola oil in the pan, and I'm just gonna start cooking down those onions and carrots.
And our 3 minutes is up, so we just turn the heat off and let it sit for 3 minutes.
Can you talk more like Julia Child, please?
I don't know how to do that.
Do that.
Oh no!
Doesn't she talk like this? Is that right?
Perfect.
So she's going to shred the chicken now. It's all supposed to make sure it doesn't burn.
So in the Kreplach recipe, it showed how you could take a whole chicken and you could put it in water with celery and onions and dill and cook the chicken until it was done, and then you could shred the chicken, but I was able to find a whole chicken that was already cooked. So I'm just going to take a cooked chicken and I'm going to shred it up and have the shredded chicken because that was a little bit easier to do. But you can cook a whole chicken yourself first and then shred it.
So I'm supposed to take the sauce and add all the rest of the stuff. So the vinegars, again, measurements will be written out below, and the lime juice. Ta-da! And I will stir it up without burning myself on any other hands. That's the goal. And then I'm supposed to just let it cool.
See, I told you all those mushrooms and onions would cook way down, so we have like half as much as we had in the pan before. And now that it's all nice and browned up and cooked, I'm just going to take it out of the frying pan and put it in a bowl. And then I'm going to mix an egg with it and some salt and pepper and some garlic. So I was gonna crack the egg in here right now, but as you can see how it's still super hot and steamy, I need to let it cool down a little bit because we want the egg to mix in it with really well and not cook as soon as it hits this. So we are going to wait 3 minutes for it to cool down. Okay, now that our onion, mushroom, ground beef concoction has cooled, I'm going to add 1 egg. So then I'm going to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder.
A lot of bit of garlic, because garlic's the best.
There you go. And then I'm just going to stir that all up. And this is our beef mixture for our beef kreplach. I think the recipe said to do the chicken first and then add the onions.
Alright, well let's get over there and do it
So
then.
this can probably cook for a little bit.
Alright, we're heading over to the food processor.
So we're going to take our fried chicken and add the processor. And then we're going to add the onions and the carrots.
Right now, this is taking too long. Let's get
mix this until it's a pate or pate consistency. Oil all around the pan. One of those boards. Yup, done.
lickety blam. Oh wait, we should be thematic. Wubba lubba dub dub. Totally working. Aww, our first one. Nailed it! So we're gonna do probably 10 minutes and then check. And here is our Szechuan kreplach.
Hataya bon.